Tell me, though, what's his technique? That last strike, it seems invincible.
Hello and welcome to Sons of the Dragon, the immortal, now undead Iron Fist podcast. If the podcast died at some point. It didn't, but, got to stick with the times, right? So, you know what? Omar's here and Emma's here. I'm going to speak for them because I'm an evil, patriarchal force.
Go for it.
No, because I just...
Yes,
Oh my
master.
god. Yeah. I was like... Because I immediately have a question in my brain that I need to ask you guys. So they call him Ghost Fist in the book, which initially I thought was kind of cool, but now I think it doesn't really roll off the tongue. And I would prefer if he was just actually called the Undead Iron Fist, like the title of the book. I think the Undead Iron Fist is a cool name. Ghost Fist, I don't think is that cool. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Emma.
Yeah, I guess I don't have strong feelings on that. I would need to think about it. I feel like I I kind of like Ghost Fist. I feel like there is kind of a ring to it. Maybe it's the double single syllable words. Um, I don't know, but yeah, Undead Iron Fist has definitely grown on me. So I guess I don't have a
hmm
strong feeling at this point. Ask me again in a few months. I'll let you know
hmm
how I'm feeling.
Yeah, I think similar to Connor, I think it kind of worked. When I first read it in the time slide issue, um, kind of like Ghost Rider, sounds pretty cool. But then, if Danny was going to have a series and it's titled Ghost Fist, um, it doesn't feel natural. I mean, even when you if you're to letter it on the cover, I'm not I'm not really sold on it being something that people will latch onto. Kind of like Ghost Spider, like Spider
Yeah,
Gwen sounded better,
yeah.
even though it's not a superhero name. But Ghost Spider didn't work for me. Yeah, I mean, it still doesn't work for me.
Hmm.
So I would have preferred something like um something that I think CBR .com tried referred to it before, that a good name for Danny, if he was going to assume a different title, would be Dragon Fist, which was a name that was used for an alternate universe version of Danny.
Yeah.
So Dragon
Mm.
Fist sounded, tougher, more in line with who Danny has been, and in line with the Iron Fist mythology too.
Well, it's
So
also
that's just
just
my take.
it's basic wording as well, right?
Yeah.
Iron
Mm,
Fist. They're both hard objects. They work together
yeah.
Yeah,
as a title. Ghost is ethereal and
Yeah.
soft connotations, and then you put
mhm.
that with fist and it doesn't, I mean, no pun intended, but it lacks a punch, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
true. Yeah.
That's true.
the Ghost
That's true.
Fist sounds better than just Ghost Fist, but yeah, I
hmm
really don't see a reason for him not to be called Iron Fist. Like we've established, you can have more than one Iron Fist running around. There's no reason
Yeah.
not, because like, oh, let's call Danny this or that. It's like he's just Iron Fist. He's always been Iron Fist. Just
Yeah.
call him the
Right.
Undead Iron Fist or the Cyborg Iron Fist, whatever you want to call. Add like a little prefix there if you want, but
hmm
yeah, it
Yeah.
just seems unnecessary, like that you can't have both Lindley and Danny as the Iron Fist. But that being said, I'm
hmm
glad Danny's still around. It's better than him not being
Yeah.
around. And I think this is a sentiment
Yes.
that's gonna echo a lot while we discuss this issue, is like it could have been worse, or at least he's here, I think is
Right.
like
Yeah.
a sentiment that
Absolutely.
I feel.
Yes.
Which is like kind of like it feels like we're being held hostage a bit. I don't know. But it's like
Yes. No. It's
thank you,
it's
Master, for
true.
these scraps. So Yeah, but that aside, me just talking about how the Undead Iron Fist is a cool name. Uh,
Mhm.
we have the cover, which I think is my favorite cover of them, where it's he's got like the mummy wraps, and then he has
Yeah.
his sort of white, like it's all of his well, most of his costumes,
Yes.
but pretty much
Hmm.
all of them. I mean, I guess you're missing
Hmm.
like the red, but who cares? It's
Yeah. Yeah.
pretty
Yeah. I
much all
like
his
it a lot.
costumes in one cover, and there's like
Hmm.
it looks like a shattered mirror, and each different shattered section shows different costume. It doesn't have anything to do with
Yeah.
the issue,
Hmm.
unfortunately, but like it's still a really good cover.
This
Yeah.
is definitely by far my favorite cover of the group of the A covers for this.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been pretty down on the covers in general. I've mentioned in previous episodes this isn't really an art style that appeals to me, but I do genuinely really love this cover. It feels like um I mean, it's a tribute to the character. The other covers
Hmm.
just felt like, oh, here's a cool action pose, here's the character that's in the issue. But this feels like a
Hmm.
really, really solid, Iron Fist cover. And yeah, I
Hmm.
love the idea of the kind of glimpses at the various costumes he's had.
Hmm.
Um, it feels like, this is an image that's trying to create a sense of the longevity and the complexity of the character. And I love covers that do things like that.
Yeah, and
Yeah. Yeah.
unfortunately, as I said, we just don't get that in the issue.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, well, that would have been
Yeah.
nice.
Would have been great. Yeah. I mean, I love seeing all the costumes together here. And the attention to detail as well.
yeah,
For each part. I love seeing that because in the white what is that called again? The white costume.
yeah.
Mhm.
The It's called what's
Well,
that
I
called
just
again?
know it as the Agamotto costume.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
yeah
the new
Agamotto
Avengers
costume.
costume.
So some of the artworks would depict a black dragon brand, and some of them would have a gold one. So just the fact that both were depicted here is a nice touch, and an attention to detail that I appreciate.
That's cool. I didn't
Knowing
notice
that,
that.
yeah, knowing that you've got two different interpretations of the white costume is great. I even have the a an action figure of two of his white costumes. One is in gold, one is in black, and it's well represented here.
Yeah, because he had black.
Yeah,
What
that's
was it
cool.
during Defenders? He had the black crest in the white
Uh,
Ah,
costume, or was
might
it?
have been. Let me
yeah,
check. I can check
I think
that.
it's in the Defenders.
And I think it was all gold in
Hmm.
the Bendis run,
Yeah, it
which
was definitely gold in New Avengers. Oh no, it was also gold in Defenders. I don't remember when it was black.
hmm, it was black at some point. I'm sure. I'm sure I've seen it
Yeah,
It
yeah.
could have
black.
been in the Power Man and Iron Fist. Uh,
Uh,
Maybe,
maybe. Let me
we'll
check.
have
maybe.
to look into that. I'm curious. Oh no,
Yeah.
wait. I have so Defenders, it depends on the artist. Some issues it's black,
Mm.
some issues it's gold. So there's our answer.
Oh, cool. Wow, that was very
Okay.
fast. Great
Yeah.
job there.
So
this is why I've got a blog.
we get. You know what would have been cool? If Agamotto was the one who brought Iron Fist back, because I think we speculated a little bit
Mm.
in the first issue that
Mm.
that might have been the case, but it wasn't. But that would have been funny. So
Yeah,
yeah, issue four. Look, okay, so everyone seems to have the same. We'll go through issue four, but everyone seems to have the same thoughts. They're disappointed. It's rushed. It feels
Mm.
rushed. It didn't wrap things up in a satisfactory way.
Yeah.
Um, I enjoyed. I was like enjoying the series. Still enjoyed it, and to be honest, I wasn't as into it as some of the other reviewers, but
Mm.
like Iron Fist fans. But I mean, I knew this was coming. Like, I knew that they would not be able to wrap it up properly in this issue. Like, there was just
Yeah.
no
mhm,
way. Like, you look at the way the other three issues are paced, and then it's like,
Yes.
so is it good? It's like unless issue four is double sized or it changes its style, it's going to have a
Mm-hmm.
problem of everything's going to be very quick and rushed. And I'm like, well, if they devote anything over like a page or two to Luke Cage's fight, then the issue is not
Mm-hmm.
going to wrap up properly. And
Right.
I read the
Yeah.
previews and I was like, okay, so there's too much with Luke Cage going on to have,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm.
I mentioned this last issue, we didn't need Danny fighting possessed Luke. We've seen that before quite recently in Phantom Limb. It just
Mm-hmm.
didn't need to
Yeah.
happen. It happens in depth in that as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had, whole issues of, brainwashed, mind-controlled fights between these guys.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy that sort of thing. I wasn't opposed to it in this, but I do think it took up way too much of the issue.
Yes, it did.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, he's holding back because it's Luke. And it's like, well, does he need to hold back? It's like, I don't think he's gonna hurt Luke that bad. Luke has
Yeah.
impenetrable skin. Like, unless his ghost powers hurt him somehow, but I thought his ghost powers he used to exorcise demons like he did with the immortal weapons. But
Yeah.
I didn't like the Luke part because it was very cliched, very I'd seen it before. I get that,
Mm-hmm.
you want to have Luke be the last person because that's the person he's closest to, and
Mm-hmm.
the but I just didn't need it. It's been done too much, as we said.
Yeah.
I don't want to wax on too much about it.
It would have
But
been
Hmm.
better, I think, if this was the moment that they brought in Colleen and Misty, or Linley and Pei, for the final issue. Them being used by Quan, because then it would circle back to Danny doing this for Lin and Pei, and then they're the ones that he needs to exorcise the demons from.
I am
And of course,
surprised they
those who
never
want to
showed up.
hurt
Yeah,
them,
I was
yeah,
expecting them to show
exactly,
up. That
yeah.
was interesting. Yeah. I feel like it kind of would have made a bit more sense just in the fact that it would have been more directly relevant to the story. But I also feel like the confrontation with Kuan Yezu was so rushed that even having anything, anyone fighting any other possessed person would have taken away vital space from
Mm,
that confrontation.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I feel like
Mm.
um, even if it was them, I still would have had issues with it. Just because I
Yeah.
wanted so
There's
much more out of
yeah,
that confrontation with Kuan Yezu.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
the
there's
big
this
one.
one, yeah, and then there's this one full page where Danny is going up against cops, and you didn't need that. You just needed Luke.
Right.
If you were going to make this about Luke and Danny, and then Quan in the end, you didn't need the cops to be there.
Well, I guess
Right.
the reason they're there is because Luke's
Mhm.
the mayor, right?
That's true, yeah.
I'm
But
guessing that's the
you can
reason.
find a way. You can find a way to get rid of the cops.
Yeah.
I guess. To be honest, I find him fighting cops more interesting than fighting Luke at this point. But
Okay.
I get your point. And yeah, the whole opening sequence, the first 9 pages of the issue, I
Is
think
that how long it is? Yeah.
that's
Oh,
how long it
yeah.
is. Yeah,
You're right.
and I'm
You're
just
right.
kind of
Yeah.
like, hmm.
Mm.
Uh,
And
yeah.
Yeah,
then
when it was previewed, yeah.
yeah, so
I mean, maybe we should mention at this point what we were talking about before we started recording, that this was, to our understanding, originally supposed to, or at least there was the idea that it could have been 6 issues, um, and
Mm.
that maybe it was. So, did you guys get the sense that it was originally 6 issues and shortened, or that it was 4 issues, but there was the possibility of it being extended?
so I'll let Omar answer properly like he did as we did
Yeah.
before because we had a whole. I'll answer first because mine is short, but we did have this whole discussion before we started
Hmm.
because I had assumed like I heard this a while ago that it was supposed to be 6 issues, and we'll
Hmm. Yeah.
discuss the veracity if that's true or not. And I just assumed that was true as well because as I was reading this, like I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely was supposed to be 6 issues, and issue 4 is going to be really short and rushed. And like like even reading the previous issues, I was like, I feel like this was supposed to be 6 issues. And reading issue 4, I'm like, I could see it where I see it to the extent where it's like I don't blame Wu for this quick wrap up because I feel like it was supposed to be 6 issues, and I might be wrong though.
Mm.
So I'll let you take over here, Ola.
Yeah, I think like I was saying earlier, before the started recording, I think my friend Kim from IG now, he used to be with the in on X before. She keeps tabs with Jason, chats with him every now and then, and I think she was the one who told me that it was originally going to be 6 issues. I'm not sure. I think I posted it before when she shared it, but I for some reason I forgot. So um, take this with a grain of salt. I think it really was supposed to be a 6 issue series. In fact, this one I'm sure of. Jason or one of the editors said later on that um, encouraged us to write. Um, and if we write and we like the series, how it's going so far, and of course sales will do a lot more than just the letters that we write. But they could extend it to more than just 4 issues, but it didn't happen. Maybe because of Deadly Hands of Kunlun was already in play for February. But there was, at least a month more for before then, so they could have wrapped this up with a 5 issue series instead of four instead. It really felt like this needed or this it felt like this was originally like a at least a 5 issue series because of everything that it wanted to accomplish. So for the wrap up to be um with Luke and Quan as um the ones that Danny had to go through to finish his mission in just 1 issue, I already knew that it was going to be rushed, and it's exactly what we got with issue 4. It's unfortunate because it was as fast as the pacing was going, but if it was handled differently, this would have been much better
Yeah,
executed.
Yeah.
I feel
And I
really
mean,
bad that I didn't write in. I completely forgot, and
I mean,
Oh, okay. I thought you
that's all
did.
right.
no, I
That's
didn't.
okay.
I mean, but I'm vocal everywhere else. I
Right. Yeah.
hashtag
I mean,
Iron Fist and
it's
everything.
right. I feel like you're doing more than enough. Um, and it did seem like, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about the letters page. More people wrote in than were published, so clearly they were hearing from
Right.
people, which is good to know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's great that they were getting
And
letters.
I remember um Justin from Deadly Podcast of Kung Fu. He was saying in the episode that he recorded for to review this issue, he said that his uh listens would spike with the new issues of Undead Iron Fist, which is
Huh,
great.
excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
and
so
always
I
go
I
down
think
around the Christmas season, but
mm,
um,
mm,
yeah.
so it
I
does
also
so.
sorry. Go on.
Oh no, I was just going to say in terms of people writing in, I feel like if you're playing with, I feel like if they were going to extend the length of this run, having people write in as, over the course of 4 months would not be enough time for them to go, actually, Jason, why don't
mhm.
you add another issue?
Yeah,
I
that's
feel like
true.
they would
Yeah,
have had to have done that beforehand. That,
yeah, that's true. Especially if it's just a 4 issue series. I mean, if it's a
right.
issue series that you want to extend, then yeah, maybe. But 4 issues, I think they're practically done with everything by then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's uh, Yeah, I read the letters page and I think it was good. That sort of even in that letters page, everyone had sort of said what I would have said, really. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
um, yeah.
What's cool about that letters page? So aside from me getting my letter published,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay.
yay! So I actually know three of the others who are there. So that was really cool.
That's
Only
awesome.
three?
What's
Yeah.
that?
I thought the Iron Fist
Oh,
fandom's so small that we all knew each
yeah.
other. But yeah.
We'll have to
Yeah,
reach
yeah.
out to the people you don't know to make those connections.
Well, two of them are on X and one of them is on IG. So
That's
Yeah.
cool.
and the other guy on IG is also an artist. He's
Oh,
not in the
nice.
you know Iron Fist community, but he's very vocal about loving Iron Fist.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
So back to the issue. Do we have anything else to say about Danny's confrontation with Luke? Or do we want to move on to his confrontation with Quan?
I think we can
Um.
probably move on. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
That's okay. Yeah. I think we can. We've said a lot already.
Okay. So moving on to Quan, Luke captures Danny and he's in Quan's lair, I guess, this giant um thing. I like there's one point in the book where he's like, oh, the Chi Lin, but they prefer to be called Wraithlin. It's like, why do you
Mhm.
prefer what they ought to be called? They're like evil
Yeah,
monsters trying to eat you.
I
Yeah.
still don't understand that distinction or the need for that extra term. It's not.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
So, is that a Chi Lin, a Wraithlin, that big fat thing? That's
I
next
think
to
so.
them.
It's a
Okay.
Wraithlin. Yeah.
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 I read the issue once, if I'm being honest, and then I moved on.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so this is where we get what Quarren gives us exposition on his motives and why he has. I mean, I guess like he made the book of the Iron Fist, but the book is still useful. Like it's not like
Hmm.
it's not
Yeah.
as we were like it's
It's
not as
not a
much of a
lie.
change
It's
as
just
well, yeah, which is good. I don't
Yeah.
really want it to be a lie. It's a lie in the sense
right.
that
Yes.
like its purpose is not its original purpose is different to what they think it is, and he basically
Yes.
Quan authors the book of the Iron Fist so that he can like read it basically and read what other Iron Fists are putting in there, so he knows their secrets, he knows how to beat them, and he knows how to drain their like blah blah
Yeah.
blah
But
stuff
then
like
how
that,
is
right?
he able to read
Right.
it? He doesn't
Yeah,
have possession of it.
there's a lot here that is interesting, but again, it just needs more explanation. There are things that don't quite make sense.
Mhm.
I mean, did he grab? I know he was in the Eighth City for ages, and then he was in Kunlun.
Yeah.
But maybe the idea is he grabbed the book after they died. I let's see. I authored it. Blah blah blah. Guys to share their fears and weaknesses.
Mhm.
Feeling, yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, it's
maybe
never been
he.
in.
I would assume that he has, and like maybe I shouldn't have to assume, but that he would have like a magic copy of the book and text would
Mhm.
appear as someone wrote in it. You know, if like you're making a magic
Maybe.
book, you can probably do that, right? So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would buy that. I would buy that. Yeah. I mean, the whole the and I mean, I'm sure we'll get to Kwan Yozu and his motivations and what's presented here.
Mhm.
Um, but the there's it feels like we're given a lot here that were then made to either connect to the previous continuity or say, okay, that's a retcon. And I'm personally, as someone who's very detail oriented in world building things like this, still
Mhm.
trying to kind of check see what links up and what doesn't and what's actually been retconned here and um but there's the I think what struck me about this is that it's not the look at Kwon Yaozu that I was hoping for. It's kind of
Mhm.
essentially he's just saying, "Oh, actually, I was always evil," which is kind of
Yeah.
boring because that's not what we got from him in his introductory arc,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure I love it.
Yeah. It's it works if it's a retcon,
Yeah.
but it's not a very clean way of doing it. Like for example, if he had been siphoning power from the Iron Fists, uh, from each Iron Fist's death, why was he still trapped in the eighth city? Why did
Right.
he need the immortal weapons, and Danny to break him out? Weren't those powers enough to help him escape? And there's a lot of things that don't line up. Like, um, he returned to Kunlun supposedly with a change of heart, and then he met with Lei Kung, and you know, probably with the city's leaders. So why did he try to reform Kunlun
Yeah.
from there, being in a leadership position? And
Right.
aside from that, you already knew that Nuwan, the former UT, was already deposed. So everything that was a lie from Kunlun um, was going to be addressed by Lei Kung and his leadership. And even if, let's say, he's still not happy with Lei Kung or anything, Lei Kung died in the living weapon. So he had all the means and all the time, and he had everything at his disposal to take over Kunlun way earlier. So why did he even have to station himself in Rand Enterprises, Rand Tower, to um, face off with Danny, when he could have just been in Kunlun the whole time and did his deed?
So
There was
unless I'm
absolutely no reason. Yeah.
sorry, unless I'm missing something, um, do we know anywhere that does he ever say he wants to take over Kunlun?
Not
Basically, he has a
Because
grudge against it, right?
he
well, but
does,
that's the
but
thing, because it's yeah, because the grudge in Immortal, the grudge came from the fact that he had this kind of
He was
loss of
abandoned.
innocence. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it was that, and it was the fact because he willingly gave himself for Kunlun. He
Yes.
allowed himself to be locked in the eighth city to shut
Mm-hmm.
the door from the inside, and then he had
Yeah.
his change of heart when he
Inside.
saw that Kunlun was sending innocent people to the eighth city as kind of political prisoners, to get rid
Mm-hmm.
of dissenters, and that's when he formed his grudge. But if
Mm-hmm.
this is saying that, oh, I was always evil, what's presented here,
Mm-hmm.
that seems to have been retconned. So what is his issue?
and his motivation
Yeah.
here is the way his motivation is presented here, as far as I can tell, is that his sole objective is to live the longest, be the best Iron Fist, be immortal, and kill the other Iron Fists that pop up. That's what I think is the issue here. That's what I think his motivation is in this series. It doesn't have anything to do with going back to Kunlun, despite the
Mm-hmm.
fact that he does mention
Yeah,
bitterness about Kunlun. His motivation
yeah,
is that I killed Danny, and Danny is here, so Danny has established he's here to make sure that he doesn't do the same thing to Pei and Lindley.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and I like there is ignoring the other Iron Fist stories. There is a sense in this story where what's going on makes sense within this story. Um, you know, but uh, I think like what you said, Emma, this doesn't really line up with what we knew of his character before, who was a bit more of a
yeah,
tragic character.
Mm-hmm.
I can totally believe that things went south when he went back to Kunlun and he would become a villain. But
Yeah.
as the sort of, I mean, you said what I was thinking in my head when I read this first is, oh, he was just bad all along. Um, like he was just a bad egg the whole time, which to me is like more of a Davos thing. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so he was just bad the whole time. Okay. It doesn't quite line up with what happened before.
Yeah.
I, I guess I'm a little disappointed, but um,
I mean, I will
yeah,
say, if there's one thing we can rely on about Iron Fist is that things are going to be retconned. I mean, at this point, there have been so many retcons and world building
Yeah.
changes and who was the actual first Iron Fist. We seem to be negating Fan Fei at this point.
Yeah.
She's not been mentioned again.
I mean, I don't know about
So
you guys, but does anyone like her? I don't like her.
I thought, I mean,
uh,
she didn't fit well into the world building at all, but I thought the
Mhm.
idea of a prehistoric Iron Fist teaching cave people kung fu was kind of cool. I don't know. But
Yeah,
as
I
it's
think
kind of its
it's
own
okay.
separate thing.
It's okay. I just in my head canon, it's more of Fan Fei not being considered an official Iron Fist by Kunlun, so they
no, that
still
does make
consider
sense.
Quan as the first. So um,
Yeah, I could see her as more of kind of
that's just how I see it.
an alternate universe. What if kind of this is a cool concept, but
Hmm.
she's separate, kind of over there, which is fine to me. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, so I'm kind of I think I need to read this through a few more times, but I think in terms of world building, to a certain degree, we kind of have to go, okay, don't think about it too hard.
No,
It
I
is what it
agree with
is.
that. I
Hmm.
absolutely agree with that. There's always going to be retcons and stuff, but I think this
Yeah.
one's a little bit the character change in Quan is pretty blatant because he
It's
didn't
not
show
great,
up that
yeah.
much, and Lou had said that he had read all of Immortal Iron Fist to prep, which
Yeah.
I mean maybe he just got a different take from the character than we did,
Hmm.
but
I don't see how. I mean, it's that's pretty much the entirety of what we know about him is
yeah.
that heel
Yeah.
turn.
It's
So
only a few.
I'm curious. I mean, and we've said this before, but I feel like I can't fully comment on this now until we've seen what happens in this other series, and maybe there's something that's going on there that will be a reason for this change to his character. I don't.
Yeah, I think this
It
could
feels like I can't
also,
comment.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, I guess he's important for the fact that he authored the Book of the Iron Fist, but outside of that, I think this could be a lot of villains from Danny's
Yeah.
past that you could like. This could be
Hmm.
Master Khan because we haven't seen him for ages,
Yeah.
Oh
and
yeah. I
I
mean,
don't like
Yeah. Would have worked.
I
Would have
don't like
worked
going
better
down
for him.
I don't like going down the rabbit hole of this is what they should have done instead because hindsight is 2020, and
Hmm.
I just feel like well, I could have done this better. I don't like that kind of thing, but I'm just
yeah, yeah.
it just bears mentioning that he's a bit of a generic character here. He's like, I just want to be the immortal Quan the immortal Supreme Quan, and I want to eat all the Iron Fist chi, so I'm
Right.
live forever. And it's like that could be a lot of villains.
Right. It could have been so
Hmm.
much more interesting. It does. It feels uncreative and it's actively making a character who had a lot of potential less
Hmm.
interesting. And it's really unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, there's. I gave Quan a chance to be a good big bad villain for the series. I didn't expect it to be him, but then I waited to see what his reasons were for turning evil again. I wasn't a fan of seeing him become a villain after reforming because now we have two guys from Immortal Iron Fist that were reformed, and then
I think
now they're
saying he
back to being evil again.
reforms I think saying he reformed is a bit of a stretch. I don't like Davos
Yeah.
definitely reformed. I don't think Quan
Yeah.
ever reformed on page. I think you can definitely get that it
Well,
leads
he
to
was
that
given a
point,
chance, so yeah.
but like it ends with like, okay, he's taken prisoner and they're gonna, do the fair trial,
Mm-hmm.
find out what happens. And you can see that leading to reformation, but I
Uh-huh.
don't he didn't really I
Yeah.
don't think he really showed up enough. He never repented. He was never like
No.
it showed that his motivations
Mm,
were understandable, but like he was never
yeah.
made a good guy.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
My issue
No,
is not
yeah.
not with him being a bad guy. I think, that's fun and cool for him to go, no, actually, I still hate you all. Um,
Yeah.
it's just the way that it's done here
Well, he
that
doesn't
isn't
even.
what it could have been.
Yeah, I
Mm,
remember I was reading this, and I thought that his motivations would be better. I was kind of surprised that it turned out he was
yeah.
bad all along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought because to me it was like, oh, like this is kind of. I was expecting like he has a legitimate beef, and they can
Mm,
work that into this whole thing. And then
Yeah.
they
yeah.
just no, he was just bad the whole time. and I was surprised, you know.
Yeah, because I thought, he had no more reasons from the past to hold a grudge against Kunlun.
Hmm.
I think that was addressed already after he
Yeah,
returned to the city.
no,
So
fair
I
enough.
would have preferred that he had a newer reason to hate Kunlun, or to hate the
Yeah.
other Iron Fist, or to hate the entire Iron Fist line
Yeah,
in the
or just
first place.
Danny went
That would
laying
have worked
hey.
better.
You could just
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
up reasons to hate them.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
know,
True.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're a crappy Iron Fist, or like just something.
you you don't deserve
Um,
it.
I mean, that's been done many times, I will say. Um,
it would make more
but I
sense though. I guess if it was
it
you're a
would.
crappy Iron Fist, it would be Davos territory. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss that little rascal. But
I mean, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. When are we gonna see him again? Um,
hopefully
I
Well,
think
not.
we're
the
gonna see
The
Undead
rated.
Enhanced Kunlun. Davos?
Um. Oh no, no! Please,
Yeah, he's
God,
going to be there.
leave him
uh,
alone. Just I don't want to see what they're gonna do to him.
oh God.
I've been
Um,
burned too many times. But
yeah.
that was a thing. And looking at the feedback for this issue, the response generally seems, I think, a main point of response to why people are disappointed with this issue is Juan's portrayal.
Mhm.
Not portrayal, not betrayal. And
Yeah.
I totally get that. But to me, that's just like one thing. And I guess
Mhm.
I was disappointed, but it
Hmm.
didn't really bug me that much, even though I guess it should have.
Mhm.
You know, like his plan of writing the Book of the Iron Fists to see their weaknesses and stuff like that makes sense to me. Even
Yeah.
though when you deconstructed it, Omar,
Mhm.
it's like, well, how could he be reading this book? Why, like in the Eighth City and all that stuff, it falls apart. But just the idea of the book being used for that purpose itself, like it
Oh
works
yeah,
for
it
me.
works. Yes.
And
Yeah.
unfortunately, things outside it don't quite work. But maybe that's what I was focusing on. And but
Mhm.
I would have liked a real slugfest with these two. Like because
Yeah.
they
Yes.
never got to fight properly in the original Immortal Iron Fist. So I was expecting
Yeah.
like, all right,
Mhm.
we're gonna have like a drag out fight between the first Iron Fist and
Mhm.
Danny, and then like
Right. Right.
Danny
It
just
would have been
kind of kicks
so
the crap out
cool.
of him.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, man, no,
We
I
we
was
need that.
absolutely expecting this because yeah, the concept of Danny fighting the first Iron Fist, just thematically, I mean, that's so yeah, man.
I mean, I think
I was hoping for that.
it's what we get's not the worst thing ever. They do fight. Danny just kind of dominates him, and I guess it depends how you feel
Mm.
about the
Yeah.
art style in the issue, which I'm not huge on this art style, so like their fight, I think if it was a different artist, I would have liked it better. Um, but yeah, it wasn't really like the fight with Luke was more of a drag out fight than the
Yeah.
fight with Quan, which I expected a big boss fight because that's how the this run has
Yes.
been set up is Danny's going through the city, he's going to the top of this tower, like it's Die
Hmm.
Hard, Judge Dredd, The Raid, whatever you want to
Mhm.
reference it to. And then he's going to fight the boss like it's a video game. And he fights
Yeah.
him, he just destroys him because he has, uh, which I guess is fine.
It's
Like
a
maybe
dragon.
Quan just sucks. Like maybe, uh, people like 2000 years ago were not as good at fighting as like okay like if you
He's
put a UFC guy in the ring with someone from like 300 years ago who was the greatest bare knuckle boxer ever. The bare knuckle boxers, fighting gets better over time, people get better over time, so I get that.
yeah, he's
But
been just sitting
yeah,
around in the Eighth City for the past few centuries. He hasn't been doing anything. He's rusty.
yeah, but I don't think that was the angle they were going for.
No,
But
I
if it
don't think
was, I would
so.
be cool. um
Yeah,
you know
you need that big boss fight at the end. I mean, it had to, you know, Danny had to be on his knees a few times probably, and then get the upper hand in the end. I wanted something
Yeah.
like that. It needed more drama to it. But it was too one-sided. It's
yeah,
like,
more climactic.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
something better than what we got here.
which I feel kind of like a hypocrite because the Iliad is my favorite thing ever. and that has Achilles like no stroke factor in like 2 seconds.
Right.
But, um,
But
yeah,
it's done with style and with flair, and this
Mm.
this is
yeah,
lacking that. I will say
yeah.
before we, sorry, continue.
No, go, keep going.
I was just going to say before we move too far past the world building, the one thing moving beyond just Kwan Yazu's motivations and so on and the alterations there, I think the bigger thing for me is this idea that this whole series seems to have been written partially to present, which is the legitimacy or lack thereof of the Iron Fist legacy. If this entire lineage was created
Mhm.
as this kind of crooked siphoning system,
Mhm.
um, what does that mean? And we don't get an answer here. I think we're not going to get an answer until at least the next series. But
Yeah.
that's the kind of point of discomfort, I think, for me beyond anything else, is
Mhm.
what does this actually mean
I will
for
raise
the
my
future of Iron Fist as a concept?
I'll raise my stick to speak. Um,
Yes.
I disagree with your assessment of this
Okay.
issue. I politely
That's
disagree.
fine.
Um, no, so I don't think the Iron Fist legacy is illegitimate at all. I think that was always going to be a thing. I think what he's done, he figured out a way to capitalize on future Iron Fists. Is the impression I'm getting. Like there was
Hmm.
always going to be more Iron Fists, so he just made this book and decided to. You don't know how or why, but he made this book and he decided to use this book. Like the book is still good; it's still useful.
Yeah.
Um, it's the book itself that I think is the center of this, not the Iron Fists. And he is using this book to, get his go juice from them. So I don't think
Mhm.
there's any air of illegitimacy around the Iron Fists at all. I think the only air of illegitimacy is around him. Like he's just kind of turns out, oh, he's like a dirtbag, which you know is that the point they're making about his legitimacy? Probably not. But yeah, it's that's the impression I got anyway. Um,
Yeah, I think
The Book of the Iron Fist sounds. I mean, my worry from the beginning of the series, because Orson said that the book was a lie. Everything they learned about it's a lie.
that was
My
a
worry
trailer
was that
moment.
they were going
I do think it was,
to
yeah.
that they were really going to do a huge upheaval of what the book was for, and everything that was there was a lie. So the good thing was the purpose of the book was the lie, but the contents are absolutely truthful.
Yeah.
Since it was written by the Iron Fist that came before. So that I heaved a sigh of relief after reading that.
Maybe that's why I wasn't so as upset like everyone else about Quan because it was just like oh he was just using the book as like a weapon. It didn't shake
Yeah,
anything up like it didn't like
yeah,
make it less meaningful. Like I love Living Weapon, but that was one of the
yes,
things, right? Is that oh they
Mhm.
were they were programming the robot so it would
Right,
lose to who they wanted to be the Iron
mm,
Fist.
right.
And nothing like that happened here.
yeah,
Um, so I don't know if that like changes your thought process ever or
It doesn't. I mean, I think my feeling on it is less what do I think and more what does
mm,
Jason Liu want us to think
okay.
and what
yeah,
will the next Iron Fist writer take from this in terms of the future of the Iron Fist legacy,
mm,
how, the connection, what the connection will be with Kunlun, what this is going if I guess in universe, how is this going to be reacted to in terms of the future of this
Hmm.
concept? I don't know.
I can't
Um,
like I get that totally. I just can't see how they would use it to like delegitimize anything. Like at this point, the
mm,
Iron Fists have just done more good than bad, except for this guy, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
But
yeah,
there's like Daddy hasn't been a bad Iron Fist recently, outside of like Heart of the Dragon, where
mm,
he says he's a bad one. I don't believe him, but
Yeah.
there's like there's no
Yeah.
corruption in Kunlun. I mean, to be honest, I didn't read that Daredevil issue where they went back to Kunlun to try and save it, so I don't know what happened there.
Nothing. Oh, they didn't even do that. It was,
Oh,
unless we're thinking of different. No, yeah, that wasn't about that at all. It was a little kind of plot irrelevant. Yeah,
right. I thought they were
uh,
because we read the Lin Lee series and it ended after
yeah,
issue 5, and then they didn't resolve the fact that his brother took Kunlun. I assumed
yeah.
Daredevil
No, that's
was
going to
going
be
to resolve that.
continue. No, the little Daredevil team up was just a little. Oh,
So
like
wait,
these
that's
Yeah.
characters are going to
still going on?
fight demons together. Yeah, that's going to be the plot of Deadly Hands of Kunlun.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sucks.
That's what they're doing. Yeah, yeah, it
They're
does.
finally
That
going to resolve it. Yeah.
sucks.
Not really looking forward to that. No.
No, I don't care if his idiot brother took over Kunlun. Is
Yeah.
like, you know,
We've ha- yeah, I mean it's just we've had Kunlun invaded so many times.
why
Every
was
time.
Daddy
I'm
out?
very
Every
tired.
series. Every series. I mean, Living Weapon, it was in
Heart of the
ruins,
Dragon,
Heart of the
Brisson,
Dragon, you even
yeah,
Brison's Run at the beginning,
yeah.
yes.
Just gonna say
And
when
not yeah.
whenever Kunlun got trashed, you know, like when it wasn't corrupted, it got trashed. Daddy went there straight away. He sorted that
Oh
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
So why
yeah,
is Lin Lee like
Yes.
partying with Hay in the middle of New York when Kunlun's
right.
overrun by demons? Like I get Daddy
Yeah.
because he's just a guy now, but it's your job, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, no, it's yeah.
All right, well, I
In
guess
any
we'll talk
case.
about that when those issues hit. Do we
Yeah.
want to talk about that? We kind of touched on the fight scene. Like they fight, he uses the rest of Osiris's power to trump him, but during that fight, we get Daddy has a new dragon. I
Yeah.
don't.
Mhm. Yeah.
The closest, I don't think this is a real dragon, real in quotations, but Tianlong, am I saying that right? Is maybe that's
And
the
long, yeah.
dragon it's based off? Because like a brief look, I found Tianlong, Tianlong, not Tanlong, but maybe it's based off that dragon. I'm not as versed in Chinese
Probably.
mythology as I used to be. But
I
the
think
heavenly
if it
dragon
wasn't
guards
based on it,
the gates of seven cities, who also keeps evil from escaping
Mhm.
eighth city. Never seen this dragon before in the
Mhm.
comics, but cool. He has a new
Yeah.
dragon. That's cool.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Shout outs
I like
yesterday
I
to
his
like
me.
that touch.
yeah. Goodbye to
Yeah.
Xiao
I like that we see the dragon again. I mean, I had been wondering from the first issue what the dragon was all about, and to see that that appearance from this dragon pay off here in the fourth issue, it made sense now, what that
Yes.
was all about. And I always love seeing dragons in Iron Fist stories. So it's a welcome,
Well, it has a
addition
name
to
too.
the dragon lore.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not just
And
true.
Spider Dragon, Larry
yeah, I
Hama.
was gonna say this is an actual
Yeah.
thought was put
Yes.
into this. Yeah, I
Yes.
enjoy this was my favorite part of the issue. I think it's a
Yeah.
neat concept. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean we've had heard the dragon we had just had a bunch of dragons thrown at us, but this is actually I love the design. It has a
Mm.
clear place within the world building. The
Yes.
concept of a dragon that
Yes.
guards all of the seven cities is really neat to me. I want to know
Mm.
more about that. I
Yes.
liked this
And it's
return of
also
this character.
it's an example of like because we've dug on this a lot, but this is an example of where this story works. And it has cohesion within the story. Like this dragon is here. Like the reason it sought out Danny and they're teaming up is because the Chi Win and Quan killed her
Hmm.
Mm.
and cast her into
Mm.
the spirit realm, and now she's back with Danny. She's inhabiting him like Xiao Wow, if I had to guess, due to the way like he punches
Mm.
and she sort of comes out of his fist.
That
But
seems to be, yeah.
Mm.
the other thing is like her design is wolf-like, which really works
Yeah.
with Daddy's backstory, and it's
Oh
a real
man,
cool.
that did not
Yeah.
occur to me. That's very, very cool. Yeah.
He didn't go as woof when he punches.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think that's like just that makes it work even more. Like obviously, a lot of thought went into this dragon, which makes me believe like a lot of thought went into it for this story, or maybe this is a thing they want to give Danny moving forward, like a different dragon.
That's the impression
Yeah.
that I got. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
And
I'm
This is
I'm
gonna
fine
be
with an
in
his.
the
angry wolf
epilogue,
dragon.
Yeah.
yeah. In the end, he's sitting beside the dragon, so it looks like they're going to be hanging out for a while.
Yeah, maybe they're bonded, and because like all the previous Iron Fists were using Shao as like a loot farm, so
Yeah. Yeah.
now he's like friends with the dragon. But yeah.
Yeah.
So and I like obviously there's some cool panels like as I said I issued the art, but like the dragon exercising demons or the dragon's energy, and like when he punches
Mm,
um
Yeah.
Quan, like the dragon following him out the window, and then it eats him, and
This
yeah,
is the second this is the second time we've had Danny bring in a dragon to eat a bad guy. And I'm
yeah.
kind of a fan of that.
I wonder
I
if
think
oh
it's
in
like
Brisson's run
yeah, that's
too.
right.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yes.
because
In
he
Brisson's run he
dies.
did it.
I just got this. So he dies, he goes splat, and then he's in the afterlife where the dragon eats
In the
him. I
afterlife,
think
in
that's
the
what's
world.
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
on. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
that
funny.
seems to be
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Or Rick Kwan.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, poor guy.
He's already dead, but he's double dead now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Daredevil's back.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
there he is. To
And he's
provide
like,
some
Came
color
bro, what are you
came
commentary.
for a
doing?
few panels.
Yeah.
So.
Did you bring a dragon to Hell's Kitchen?
God.
I was kind of surprised he showed up again. I thought,
Yeah, oh,
I
I
guess to
wasn't
show he's
Yeah,
not
me
expecting it.
too.
dead.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I didn't think he'd be dead.
That's
Yeah,
true. That's a good point. Probably. Yeah, no,
It's
I
for
wasn't expecting him at
sales.
all.
It's for
Yeah.
sales.
Daredevil was
They
in
needed
two
the Daredevil
panels.
completists to buy the issue.
Yes.
So
the
Which
Omar
I'm
of the
I know somebody
Daredevil
who will do that.
fandom.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, oh, I'm on board with that. Yeah, milk the Daredevil complete as a Daredevil completist. Milk the Daredevil completists. Get them to read Iron Fist.
yeah.
Yes.
So are we done with Quan? Are we going to move on to the
The
cemetery
epilogue scene.
slash epilogue?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace,
All
guy.
right, Splat. Luke's fine. Daredevil's fine. Luke is digging
Mhm.
up Danny's grave.
Mhm.
And uh, evidently the grave is empty. He goes, "Where the hell are you?"
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
we see that the chi is burned out. I think the
Yeah.
grave is empty. I think that's the impression we're getting.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well, because there was the giant
Yes. It's
hole
empty.
in the first issue. Yeah.
yeah.
It's empty for sure.
I guess like he could have crawled back though, like the crow, right? But the I
Yeah.
only say that because the thing is empty, right? So Danny's not on the
Mhm.
earth anymore.
Yeah.
But he's in the underworld, and Osiris in his goofy costume. He's hanging out with Osiris and Orson. Well, they're saying go in peace. You fulfilled your end of the bargain, my ghost fist. You deserve some rest.
Yeah.
Until the next time you are needed. And he's just chilling, watching over the Egyptian city of the dead with his new dragon friend. And cool, let's talk about the epilogue. So,
Yeah.
um, like, still, I know he answered this, right? But I'm still kind of like, why did we go with Egypt? Because it never became relevant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
I thought
Unclear.
it was going to become relevant, and it didn't. It could have been anyone giving him power from beyond the grave, which is why I said like it would have been cool if it was Agamotto, because that would have been more relevant. The
Yeah.
dragon could have been anywhere, Danny could have been anywhere, Orson could have been anywhere. So Osiris and the Egyptian angle was not needed. While cool just feels
Yeah.
kind of random and not like
Yeah.
I just never viewed Daddy as like adjacent to Egypt in any way.
Mhm. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
I'm really, really hoping that we get Jason Liu to come on so we can talk to him because
Yeah.
I'm very curious why he chose this. Because I mean, I don't have an issue with it, but yeah, it's just random. It doesn't affect the story in any
Mhm.
way beyond just, well, this is the source of his power. But as you say, he could have
Mhm.
gotten that anywhere.
and maybe he
Um,
just thought it was cool,
yeah,
which
exactly. Yeah,
is
maybe
like
it's that,
fine.
which
Yeah.
is fine.
Um,
Yeah,
Yeah. He
maybe
was
like if I
given
did it,
a set of deities, I think, who were available for him
uh,
to use, and he picked
maybe,
Osiris. Yeah,
maybe, yeah.
that's what he said. I think
oh,
it was
Oh,
Kim again who
okay.
told me that. So
Oh, excellent.
he was
Thank you.
given, I don't know who the others were that were in play, but he picked Osiris. The thing is, we don't know what his reasons were for picking him, but that's what he did. So
It
I
could
thought
easily be a
it
way.
had something to do
Yeah,
with Moon Knight, but it wasn't explained in the series.
no. Maybe he just wanted it to like because Moon Knight is very prevalent in the Marvel universe now. Maybe he wanted it also
Yeah,
to feel connected to the Marvel universe, like make
yeah,
it.
maybe.
And the other thing is
Hmm.
maybe he
Hmm.
just thought Egyptian mythology was cool, right? Because if it was
Yeah.
me,
Yeah,
it's like, oh, they give me a list of deities. Hades is there. Oh, maybe I'll give him
Right.
yeah.
Hades. That would be cool. Like I would think
Right.
that would be cool.
Uh,
So, you know,
Yeah. No, that's
hmm
uh,
completely reasonable.
could be a similar thing. And we've established Osiris's motivations at least in this series that he thinks
Yeah.
something to do with balance, right? He thinks like Kwan's like a needs to be dealt with and stuff. So
Mm.
Yeah, Osiris needed a champion in the land of the living to go do this deal with this guy, and Danny was available.
the
Yeah.
reason
I
it
think
feels
is the gist.
weird is because it ends with Danny.
Mm.
He's still undead. We'll just go with undead for now. He's still undead,
Yeah.
which is like fine. I mean, look, we talked about this off air. I would have liked him to come back as an Iron Fist, but
Hmm.
at
Yeah.
least he's back. I think that's where my
Hmm
head's at. And I think that's where Rebecca's head
hmm
is at as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just odd ending an Iron Fist series with him looking out over the Egyptian city of the dead, like that's his sort of new home.
Yeah.
Like it just feels weird to me
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it's a
it does.
Yeah.
new environment,
It's not where he
and
should be. Yeah.
yeah, it's just like I do miss Danny with Kunlun. Maybe that was like not
Yeah.
allowed. Obviously, like I think if he could have
Well, he
become the
can't
Iron
be
Fist again,
Yeah.
there.
he would have. But
Yeah.
well,
Well,
he
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 can't
should
be
can't,
be in
and
there.
he
Fang
can't be
too.
he can't be there right now because it's being overrun by what's his name? By Lin
Linley's
brother.
brother.
Yeah.
Lin
Um.
Feng or something.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, no,
also,
it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
I hope he's not called Ghost Fist. Just call him Undead Iron Fist, please, because we discussed Ghost Fist at the start. But yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm glad he's back. I wish he was Iron Fist, but I'm glad he's back and around. I don't know if I'm like I was looking forward to Deadly Hands more until I found out it was dealing with the Goodlund thing,
I'm
and
so sorry
hmm
to have
that's
broken that
fine.
for you.
No,
Yeah.
I should have my expectations tempered. So, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts both on this epilogue?
Well, go ahead, Emma.
All right. Yeah. So I kind of felt the same way you did. I mean, it's a nice final image. It's very peaceful. Yeah, it is kind of an incongruous setting for him. The concept, the go in peace until the next time you needed you are
Mm.
go in peace until the next time you are needed would have
Mm.
freaked me out much more if we didn't have the announcement that he would be in the next comic, because I would have gone,
Yeah.
oh God, that's an excuse to not have him be in anything ever at any point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in that context, I'm fine with it, and I think, I mean, I don't want to get my hopes up, but I think exploring this role for Danny as kind of a guardian of all of the seven capital cities of heaven would be really, really fascinating. And
hmm
I
what would that mean? What is that what is that role? Kind of what is he physically as as Ghost Fist, as
hmm
Undead Iron Fist? What's his power set? This could be a really cool
hmm
new phase for him. And I'm
if they made
intrigued by
him
it.
the
Yeah.
Guardian of Seven Cities, I because my brain didn't think that at all that they were going to go that direction, but that would be a cool direction.
I mean,
The
I don't want
direction,
to I mean, I don't want to, get hopes up or anything, but it
yeah,
seems like if he's partnering with the dragon, who is the guardian of the seven cities, then
hmm
it
hmm
seems logically that he would also, in a way, be in that position. Um,
Yeah.
that
but
makes
we'll see.
sense.
Yeah.
My brain
Yeah. I'd
went
love to see
to
him in Kunlun again.
my brain went
Yeah,
to that he's Osiris's champion. Yeah, was where my brain went.
Yes.
I don't know
Yeah.
if he
Yeah.
still is, because he says, Osiris says, you fulfilled your end of the bargain, and it seemed like the powers he was using, the pennant
Oh.
burned
Okay.
out. and that seemed to be representing Osiris's powers, and
Mm,
Danny
okay.
seemed to be using the powers of this new dragon at the end.
He does say
So
until your
I
next needed though. Like
yeah,
Yes.
I figured
but
maybe like
yeah,
who
If
else is gonna
Osiris
pull it
needs.
out of that, you know?
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's yeah. I'm
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
curious to see what that actually means.
I
Um,
hope that I don't think it is, but I look, we've had the run with the new costume now. Not a fan. Gave it time. It's better with his shirt off. You know, I hope like how Danny looks at the end, sitting on the rock. Like if that's his costume, that works for me.
it's
Otherwise, I'm
cool.
not
Yeah,
into the new costume. So
I thought it was interesting that kind of clearly, intentionally, symbolically, the mask ripped to look more like his usual mask.
Mm-hmm.
So
interesting, good
it
spot.
does seem
Yeah.
like this is kind of an evolution of the costume, and that maybe this could be his new look, is that final look.
It's just
And
because
I
on the
agree,
cover of the
absolutely.
new
Okay.
run,
Yeah.
he's in the costume on the cover,
Yeah.
right?
The full
Which,
costume. Yeah.
as we know, like
Yeah,
covers don't always necessarily accurate for the
Mm-hmm.
contents, but yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Because, I think when Vaughn designed the costume, um, the idea was, he was undead, so like a zombie. So the colors would be muted except for that golden armor thing on his arm.
hmm
Um, so it had to look like grungy. And
Oh, I'm
for
down
the
for
Undead
grungy.
Iron Fist story, it worked. Yeah. So for the Undead Iron Fist, I think it worked. But moving forward, if he's not going to be undead, then he needs colors that would align more with the Iron Fist
I just think it's
colors.
too busy. There's too much
Uh-huh.
going on in the costume. I think it just needs to be simplified. Like I think all the best superhero
Yeah.
costumes are simple.
yeah, I agree with that. I think for me, this is a costume that's entirely reliant on the art team. Like
Mm,
I really, really disliked it on the
yeah.
covers. That that first look we had of it. But as someone who actually enjoyed this interior art style, I think this artist made it work. But I think it's definitely a
Yeah, he
costume
did.
that has to be in the hands of an artist that knows how to make it look streamlined. Because otherwise, yeah, it's very
Yeah, yeah.
kind
How
of
it works, yeah.
busy and clunky. Um,
Mm. Yeah, so the
so we'll
idea
see.
with that arm, with that armor, um, it was supposed to look like like the grooves that you find there. They were supposed to be like muscles. But
Yeah,
I think in eventually, when it was being drawn by the other artists, it kind of changed and became more like Iron Man type. So it was supposed to look more like Danny's arm muscles were the ones that formed whatever designs you would find in there, aside from the um, the hawk or eagle on his shoulders, and and the fist. So otherwise, I think they just need to simplify the way it looks on the page when they're drawing it and
yeah,
go
and
back to
I
the
do think
original idea.
yeah, and I do think the arm looks really cool. I mean, the on the splash page where he punches Kwanyazu, um, I think the arm looks absolutely beautiful there, and yeah, it kind of
It
molds
does.
to his body in a way that looks very natural. Um, so I like this approach to it.
Did you have thoughts on the epilogue, Omar? Unless you weren't finished, Emma. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm finished. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, for the epilogue, the first in the cemetery, this would have
Mm-hmm.
been a great time for Luke to bring in Colleen and Misty and Lindy and Pay, because it's there should be a moment where those four guys would talk about either Danny's death or Danny coming back again. and it would have um, made the series more um, tied to his cast of characters. Because I need for me, I needed that because I know that Danny has had a lot of friendships, and these are his closest ones. Even Victor Alvarez should have
Mm.
appeared. I mean, that's a lot of characters, but even just seeing them, even if they don't have to talk, let Luke, Colleen, and Misty do the talking here. But I needed to see them at some point here. I was hoping in the epilogue, but we didn't get that. So um, that was a minor gripe for the fourth issue, but I also still wanted to see any of those four other characters between the first and the fourth issues as well, and we didn't get that. I really hope that we have something like a moment for them. Like if Danny comes back, then let them, have a group hug or something. Um, do something with them, make us feel like they were affected by Danny's death, and they were, you know, um, happy to know that he's back, something like that. And then the scene in the underworld, yeah, like with Connor, I didn't. It's weird to see him overlooking the Egyptian underworld, because he should be in Feng Tu, the where all the other Iron Fists and Kunlunians go when they die. So it still doesn't explain why he's in the Egyptian underworld now, and why Orson's there, and why a dragon from the seven capital cities of heaven is there. They should be somewhere else. So I hope there's like maybe a secret tunnel where they come from Peng Tu, and then they move to the
Yeah.
Egyptian underworld or something. That they're all connected, but it is weird. But I am happy that Danny's back, and since we know that he's going to be in the hands of Kunlun, I'm just happy that his journey isn't over. And they did say that the fate of Danny Rand, or the future of Danny Rand, is going to be determined in that series. So it might um, go in the direction that you're hoping for, Emma. That would happen.
Fingers
And
crossed.
but I'm also thinking that he could be the next UT of Kunlun.
Can I just say I'm annoyed
His next,
I
uh, uh, that
the,
that they're saying like his fate will be determined in the next series? It's like, wasn't
They
that the whole
keep
point of
saying
this
yeah,
that.
series?
They keep saying, yeah, they
yes.
keep saying they
Like, I
just want
bought
us
your
to buy
damn
the next
book.
series, right?
Been
Right.
strung along
Yeah,
Buy
here.
I thought
buy
that
the
was the
next
one that
one.
was what was going to happen here, but yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't get that. So I
Yeah.
hope it's Danny. There's lots of great ideas for Danny in the future, but no matter what happens, I want him back as Iron Fist, whether this year or next year, probably. I just, need him to be back as Iron Fist. But it would
Mhm.
be interesting to see him in other roles. Like you don't know who's in charge of Kunlun now. I know Sparrow's supposed to be the Thunderer, and then she's referred to as Zuti in
Mhm.
another series. So
She's
you
both.
don't
So
know if she's both.
she's
Is she?
technically she's both right now because there's no one else. I mean, yeah, it would have been very logical for Danny to come in as the Thunderer, but
Yeah,
that's not what
and
happened, and so it's just her. So that, yeah, I'm
yeah.
pretty
We
sure
need
that's
some.
the current status.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need a more established leadership in Kunlun.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
Clearly,
Yeah.
considering what
do
happened
the
to it
do something.
Yeah.
again.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. So that's overall, it just made me feel good that Danny's back. Um, the just the idea that he's going to be needed so soon after the series, made me feel good. So overall, despite my gripes about, Juan and his motivations and whatnot, I'm still happy uh with the series. With the issue 4, overall, it's not bad. It's just not great, but it's still good, you know.
Yeah, I think absolutely overall, I think we were very fortunate to have gotten this series. I think a lot of its issues were out of the control of the
Yeah.
creative team.
Yes.
And I think it's a very nice thing to have, and I was happy to rally around it and to get the chance to read an Iron Fist comic about Danny. I'm very, very pleased with
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I really like the way Lou portrayed Danny. Um,
Yeah,
I'm,
I do
I'm
too.
even going to mention in my review later on that I like that he didn't portray him like somebody who's a goofball, like Deadpool or Spider-Man in the series. He's
Hmm.
not like them. He can exchange quips and barbs with villains, with people, but not during a fight. And I'm glad he didn't do that. I'm glad we saw a serious, stoic version of Danny because that's what this series called for, especially. So it's very true to his character. He wasn't disrespected at all, and I can get behind Lou writing Danny again because he knows the character and he respects him, and I can see it from the whole series.
Yeah, I was hoping Lou would be writing Deadly Hands of Kunlun, just because I
Yeah.
know now that he writes Danny himself well.
Yeah,
Hmm. Would have been
Um,
nice.
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know why they picked a different writer.
I don't think I've read any of the new writers' work for who's writing that series. Um, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, me neither.
I enjoyed this series. I think the last issue again, I kind of expected it to feel like it did.
Uh-huh.
Quan's
Yeah.
revelation was somewhat disappointing, but that seems to be the consensus. But I enjoy the series.
Mhm.
I would recommend it to an Iron Fist, someone who wants to keep up with Iron Fist. Um,
Yes. Me too.
Hmm. Yeah.
unless, yeah, I guess I'm just, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll get to feedback.
Yeah.
So let's go to Twitter. Black Wolf Wonderman says it felt rushed. It is the weakest issue of the series. I would agree there. I think everyone agrees with that, really.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I
Um,
Mhm.
agree.
so we get feedback
Yes.
from the Deadly Hands podcast or Deadly podcasts that come through, and they say, I think those were bad, the good of this issue. I love why Quan was doing what he was, but his character was ruined. I don't know.
Mhm.
Mm.
So I think he wants say he talks about it more in his podcast. So go listen to that if you want to hear more. Um, yeah, and then we have Rant who says, I enjoyed it, but it's unfortunately the weakest issue of the series, which you don't want for your finale. Everything felt rushed and could have used another issue to flesh things out, and leaving Danny in the underworld until he's needed may also stagnate his development.
Mhm.
Yeah, you don't want your finale to be the weakest. Endings are
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think you know what we talk about 6 issues. I think even one issue would have helped a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Hmm. I agree.
This
Yeah.
felt like
Uh,
there were it was basically 2 issues in one because you had Luke and then you had one, and it was all
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
Yeah, I
and
think
then
either that
yeah
or the whole thing needed a restructuring because if you think about, for instance, if we look at the Iron Fist series that brought Miranda back, I mean, I think there's slightly less going on in that, but that was 3 issues, and it still
Hmm.
felt like it was structured well, it fit well within that very tight
Yeah.
space. I think you can make a story like this work in 4 issues, but not with this
Exactly.
particular pacing.
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah
I think if somebody like um Ed Brubaker wrote this, he would back in so much into it that even the fourth issue would be enough for us to say that it was a satisfying ending. So it's just that, loose spacing, the way he writes. I don't know if this is exactly how he writes all the time, but just the way that he wrote the series, I knew already from after the third issue it wasn't gonna work in the fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I unfortunately knew from the first issue, so I had plenty of time to temper my expectations and enjoy the ride while it lasted. I'm
Hmm.
sorry, Omar.
Hmm.
Um, Iron Fist ebook says the art has been consistently stellar. I'm not a huge fan of the writer's previous work, but this has been my favorite. Unfortunately, 4 issues where half of each issue has been fight scenes just doesn't allow for deep plot or compelling exploration of characters. Yeah, but a time did exist where you could explore characters in fight scenes as well.
Yeah.
You could
That is
combine
true,
the
yeah.
two. You would have storytelling in fight scenes,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
I don't know why that definitely wasn't a thing here. And to me, I think the fight scenes needed to be better. Like, if you're going to give me just fight scenes with a minimal story, at least make them good fight scenes. And I guess I'm one person who's just not into the art style, like, I suppose.
Hmm.
Because I think, yeah, there's just,
I think it works for me for Undead Iron Fist, because of the story it was telling. But if you put Fran Galan's work in another series like Immortal or Brisson's Run, I don't think it's going to work as well. So for me personally, his style works in certain themes.
Yeah, I agree with
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. And that's it for feedback, I believe.
We had
Thanks everyone
one.
very much. Oh, do we?
Well, we have one. I think Omar, you sent one on
Yeah,
Discord.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
This one was from Facebook. So um, he's a fellow Roy Thomas fan that was in a Facebook group. And he loves Iron Fist, one of his favorite characters. So he said, I read it, thought it was fine, but rushed. The showdown at the end needed a whole issue alone. It had all the elements for an epic final fight, and if it had had time to develop, it could have been incredible, which I agree with. As is, the comic burns right through the fight with the big moments coming one after another, and then it's over. And then the post fight epilogue is barely given any time at all, and the issue's over. Again, everything was there. The comic just didn't have enough space to fully realize its potential. For fans who hate big drawn out fight scenes, they'll probably like this. Iron Fist is a martial arts character, thus the fights are everything. Personally, I want to see the longer drawn out fights, especially one of this scale. All in all, the book was fine. Not great, not bad, but good enough. So that's his
Yeah.
reaction, and I totally agree with
Yeah, agreed,
Yeah.
especially about the fight scenes. And to reiterate, you can do storytelling in fight scenes, and that has been done
it.
in a lot of Iron Fist
Yeah,
comics. They have done
yes,
that.
Yeah.
Most Iron Fist comics would do that. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
It should have, it really deserved that extra issue at least.
yeah,
You want something bigger, a bigger spectacle at the end.
yeah. And if this was Marvel's choice, like, don't try and cheap out so hard. You have so much money. Like, don't try and cheap out and put this in
Yeah.
4 issues, Like,
Yeah.
goddamn.
Yeah,
This is a resurrection story, for God's sake. After the 50th anniversary you were supposedly celebrating. You
Right.
can't even give
mm,
him six
yes.
issues. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And then we got so I can't remember if we've mentioned the letters page or not, but it was really nice to get a letters page. We haven't had a letters page in a while,
Yeah,
in an Iron Fist comic.
yes.
Omar's letter made it in, mine did not, which
yeah.
is okay.
Yeah.
But lots
No,
of
Oh,
wonderful
yeah.
letters
I
here.
was wondering if you wrote in.
I did, but I feel like I was saying a lot of the exact same things other people were saying, and it might have been too long because I
Oh,
tend to be
that's why.
wordy. So I'm fine with
Okay.
it, and I'm very glad yours made it in, Omar. So it's a
yeah.
Thank you.
really good letter.
Thank you.
And so
Yeah.
thank you to everyone who wrote in, telling Marvel
Yes.
Yes.
that,
Thanks,
supporting
guys.
the series. Really, really excellent to see the fans come out like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice to see a letters page. I mean, I really, really miss it. I mean, when
Hmm.
I was a kid, the first thing that I would read was the letters page.
Yeah.
For some
Mm.
reason, so I would go read the letters page before even reading the comic book.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah, I love letters pages. I've missed them. I agree. It's very nice to have it here.
Did the Daredevil series, the recent one, have a letters page?
Uh, no, I'm actually not caught up, but I don't believe it did. We haven't had, I feel like most of
Oh,
the comics I've been reading have not had letters pages in a while.
okay. Well, it's good that we got one.
Yeah, so
I,
I was
I was hoping to
shocked
get
and
it in the second
surprised.
issue. Yeah, this was a surprise. I thought they weren't
Yeah.
going to print anything anymore, but it's great to see it
Yeah.
in the fourth issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Well, I don't really have any more thoughts on this. I would like to see more continuation of this, or keen for more Danny. Not necessarily keen for
Hmm.
more Danny and friends, but we'll see how that goes.
Hmm.
I saw someone
Yeah.
say they wanted like an emotional reunion between Danny and Pay because they're like father and daughter, and I just thought, I bet we're
Yeah.
not getting that. They're gonna like quip at each other or something, or she's gonna give him grief. We're not gonna get an
Yeah.
emotional reunion, as much as I
Yeah,
would
that's
like one
not
too.
quite.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
her dad died, but it's just, um,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure it'll be
I'm
brushed
looking
over.
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
they're reserving that for the next one.
Because well, we no, but I mean, like we barely got a funeral for
hopefully.
him. We got like one
Yeah,
panel. You
right.
know,
Yeah,
are we gonna
that's
get
Yeah.
people reacting to his resurrection? Like it's just
Yeah.
anyway.
mhm.
We'll see. It would be nice, but we will see. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to future adventures of Danny and Pay,
Yeah,
apart from anything else.
yeah.
So hopefully
No,
we
that
will
would be
get that.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
I'm also looking forward to what they do with Linley and Pay, because that's been an ongoing issue with Iron Fist fans. There
mhm.
are, it shouldn't be a, Linley versus Pay thing for Iron Fist fans, whether they started with Linley or not. But it's the next series hopefully will bring those two fan bases together,
Didn't they
and we
already
need
kind
more.
of deal with that in the 50th anniversary?
Um, they're
I don't know if they
still,
did it successfully for me
Right.
yeah.
personally.
I mean, it's to
They
explore it, I
tried.
guess.
They
Yeah,
tried.
maybe
Yeah.
in this next series they'll get
I
to
mean,
bring these fan bases.
if they write Lidley to be likable, maybe I'll get on
Yeah,
board.
Yeah.
But they
yeah.
just
He just needs to be written better.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's not an issue of in universe do Pay and Lindley like each other. It's an issue of are the fan how are we positioning this in terms of
And he's just got
storytelling?
a lot of
Yeah.
baggage to get over because his creation is just so flawed and the concept is just
Yeah.
such a bad idea combining Swordmaster with Iron Fist. So it's like there's a lot of
Hmm.
work to do on that front, I think, if they want to change
Exactly.
my perceptions
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
him.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
like he doesn't feel part of the Iron Fist. It does feel like part of the Iron Fist family of characters.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Um,
It
my
seemed like
reaction to it.
it seemed like they were trying to build something new, which is not what we want.
Yeah.
yeah. Any other thoughts, guys, or shall we wrap up?
For me,
Um
I just want to say thank you to Marvel for giving us the series. It has its great moments. It has had its low moments, but otherwise, I'm just happy we got it.
Cool.
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I'm very glad to have it. I think like many things, this is a series that I'm going to have continually evolving feelings on based on how things carry on from here. But I could see this as being one that I really cherish as something that, despite
Hmm.
the rushed aspects to it and it not being as long as it needed to be. It's a very unique Iron Fist story. It's very, very different from a lot of things we've had before. It's this kind of fun little gem of a standalone series that I think is a very, very cool, in many ways, very,
Yeah.
very cool addition to Danny's journey. And
Yeah.
I'm very grateful to the creative team for giving it their all and putting what they put into it, and the showing the love for the character that is clear in the series. I'm very, very
Yeah.
grateful for that. And I'll also say that I've been keeping an eye on Ultimates, which is wrapping up,
Yeah.
and seeing what happens with that version of Danny. Um, Hopefully something cool, and we might talk about it in a future episode. But it's neat to have that as well.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, until next time, may your fists be like unto things of ghosts.
Yes.
Ooh.
The
See ya.
ghost thing. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Iron Fist and all other characters in these comics are properties of Marvel and Disney. Any music or images we use belong to their respective copyright holders. We do this for fun, so please don't sue us. You can contact us at sonsofthedragonpodcast@gmail.com. Just send us mail, comments, thoughts, anything you want really. It doesn't even have to be related to Iron Fist. If you don't want it read on the air though, make sure you mention that. You can also find us on Facebook, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast, Sons of the Dragon, our Twitter, at Iron Fist Podcast, our SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Sons of the Dragon, hyphens where the spaces are, our YouTube, Connor Carl, just search Iron Fist Podcast and you'll find us real quick. We are also on iTunes. If you find us there, give us a review and rate us. If it's less than 5 stars, please say why so we can improve the show. And we're on Podcast Garden in the literature section, and last but not least, head over to our WordPress, Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast.wordpress.com. That's where I put all the show notes. I'd like to thank Thomas Tissot for composing the Iron Fist theme song we use at the start of our Iron Fist episodes on the podcast. I'd also like to thank Peter John Sikorsky for composing the Power Man and Iron Fist theme we use at the start of our Power Man and Iron Fist episodes. And finally, thanks to you guys for listening.